wall goes up. You cannot run, but Fear was not going to let you hide. He wants to try and bring down a Force, but a Force ends the ground. And Champ pulls Fear back in the base after her Force gets a double kill. Leap on the way! The swap on the leap!
Butchering Brax, phase shift dodges it, but to what end? They've done no damage. Now their song's down, and Fanatics are gonna move on here.
Both goes, they're willing to the tree line. Denny get a phase shift, and then with Achievements gone, they're gonna jump in. Koro! Big stun, double stun, feed can cancel, Black Hole, won't go. He actually gets two. KYX right up higher, locked in position. Force with a double kill. Mushi almost dead, and instead, Mushi down, and SK will buy back, and GG! Navi! Are you ready? Welcome back, everybody, here to your coverage of the MLG TKO US Grand Final, where we are now going into game number 3 of EG going up against Team Liquid, here with EG sitting one victory away from taking home the $14,000 first place prize, while Team Liquid, well, they're fighting hard. They came back here in the last game. How will they go in the next game? Let's find out together. I am being joined by an old friend of mine. It is syndereN, man. Welcome back for our game. It seems like we're starting as very much we did the last game.
I was about to say, does this look familiar to you?
Just
so
a little bit.
Just to clear out, the reason EG is first pick again, which might be a little puzzling since they were first pick in the last game, is that the verdict from Holy Master, unless I misunderstood something, is since there are a potential 4 games, we're just playing the scenarios one at a time, because obviously there's going to be one with EG first pick Radiant, one with EG second pick Radiant, one with EG first pick Dire, and one with EG second pick Dire, and they're put in some order, which I haven't kept track, but they were first pick. Let's see, they were first pick Radiant last game, and this time they're first pick Dire. So that's the change up we have. So they do get Lycan again. Liquid will take Naga, and unfortunately for Liquid, the Emperor Spirit is not there this time. That got banned by EG. So they're going to go for Nyx, which they also had in the last game. And their bans are the same as last game, Darkseer and Treant. So they're sticking to that strat. We'll see if EG has something else in the bag. I feel like this time, just by picking up Puck, they already have a lot more control to allow Lycan to lock on his targets. That's really important because he has incredible damage and good chasing power, but if the targets are in his proximity all the time, with Dream Coil, this is a great 2-hero combo early on.
Yeah, you're right about that, man. And you already see TC, like the Enigma has to come out of here. There's already too much control with just those 2 heroes, so remove out the rest of them. I also did ask Jimmy about the SK pickup, and I'm surprised it didn't flag in my mind because I did see it happen in the on the list for it, but it was the StarLadder US Finals. It was game 2 and game number 3, where Demon basically destroyed EG with his SK to a point. To a point. Okay. Obviously, we know who were the victors at the end of the day for those games, but still. Yeah, that was the reason that also it was put down to. And Jimmy was just like, yeah, dude, why are you asking me that? It was these games. I destroyed them. Like, fair enough, man. EG's taking out both Dazzle as well as VS now. They're taking out the insurance. That was the other big thing from Team Liquid. That Dazzle works so, like, overtime. So much overtime. Again, I remember I saw a guy in the chat saying, well, it's because they didn't gank up Naga enough. I'm like, well, actually, there was about 4 to 5 different opportunities within the first 25 minutes that Naga should have been dead. But Dazzle was there at exactly the right time.
And, of course, Song of the Siren as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Dazzle, the great synergy those 2 heroes have is that Song of the Siren has a low mana cost. So even if you're out of mana when you get gone on, if you get kept alive by the grave, you can stick up and then Song, which is what Koikva did, I think, 2 or 3 times that game. But this time around, it's not going to be with the Dazzle, of course. Now I was imagining, okay, since they banned Dazzle and Venge, we're probably going to see Liquid get the Visage again, who was really useful for them last game. Way2 played an excellent game. And they banned out the Bane themselves, so they know EG needs supports. They pick 2 cores as the first 2, which is often a really greedy choice. Liquid might have actually done the same here, but they have more flexible cores who could also play support roles. Whereas Puck and Lycan are kind of locked in their potential in that regard. But now they get the Rubik again. And I'm just thinking, what's EG's second support? What did they have in the last game together with the Rubik? they had a CM, which is in the pool again. I wouldn't be surprised to see them getting that again.
Yeah, hang on. You put a CM onto the EG lineup? Or are you talking Liquid?
EG. They could get that again, but now I think with the Mirana, nah, they won't do it now.
Yeah, I'd be really concerned for that CM's
They'll get
life.
a jungler.
Yeah, in this game, like, okay, well...
Because why not?
We're dragging out the melon holder.
That could easily be a core, actually. Knowing EG, they like to play that one on Universe, I think. At least he has a lot of experience with Tide in the offlane.
Well, if you're going to run a Nyx versus Tide, yeah, Tide will have no problem with that whatsoever.
That's a great lane for Tide.
And then you're still going to try and run this Mirana Visage kind of combo. But they're missing their initiation for Team Liquid. Because I was thinking the Crystal Maiden in for Team Liquid as their final one. Just the Naga back to the middle lane. It's Naga versus Lycan mid. Again, it's going to happen right now. Which means, though, like that kind of screws up your thought, though, because that would put Puck into the offlane under Universe's control. So you'd actually push Lycan into the hands of Mason for this game? Or would you switch up the lanes and like put Puck in the middle lane being played by Mason and put Lycan on the top lane being played by Arteezy?
Arteezy doesn't play Puck? Or
no, Arteezy definitely plays Puck. I'm just wondering, though, like, who feels more confident with that hero? Because I can't remember the last time I saw Mason play Lycan. I'm not saying
it's a hero that should be fine for him. He seems to be a really good carry player at playing, if Lycan and Weaver, to an extent, have a lot of similarities in how they work, because they're heavily mobile and based around pretty much nothing else but attacks as their source of damage. Sure, you've got Shukuchi a bit, and the Swarm can also do something, but at the end of the day, in bigger fights, it's about keeping your cool and having the overview of not overextending, even though you're very mobile, and then you can fall back on your mobility at the same time. I think Mason would play a good Lycan just from his player profile. Like, if you're good with Weaver and Mirana, I don't see why you wouldn't be good with Lycan unless you're absolutely god-awful at micro, which is, of course, we don't know. I don't think we've seen Mason play any micro-intensive heroes, so maybe that's...
Weaver, Mirana, it's... want to micro that?
Gotta micro the Swarm, right? But when you're looking at Liquid's heroes, I want to point out one thing. They are really squishy, and EG has a sick teamfight lineup. If EG get in, and Song of the Siren does not come... There it is, the CM as well. Like, this is my concern for Liquid. We reach a mid-game point when EG get an initiation, and Liquid dies. Just flat out dies. They cannot, if Naga gets caught here and dies, the whole team is going to fall apart. They have nothing to fall back on. Like, everything they have is... they've got some good teamfight abilities between Freezing Field, and of course, if Bulba can land those 4-man impales again, that's going to be great. But I feel like this time around, EG playing up against Liquid's lineup, I think there's more leeway for EG because they have better teamfight this time around. And that's great when you're playing a brute force lineup, obviously, that you can actually even force the fight and not just attack the tower with your Troll and Lycan. I'm looking at a teamfight support as the last one as well for EG. I don't know which one they could pick, though. Unless if Tide is a support.
Yeah. I think that's a question mark in EG's head about that one as well.
They don't want to play late game, that's for sure. You're not going to win late game against... again, in this game, they have more against the Naga illusions now. They have Fate Bolt, they have Anchor Smash, Double Puck, AoE nukes. So they definitely have a way of killing Naga Siren illusions, but you're still going to lose the late game in this one. It almost doesn't matter what they pick, I think.
Well, if you're going to lose the late game, just go for the early game pressure. Yep. Like if you need to, grab Chen, grab Enchantress, grab the jungler and start pushing.
Does Zai play that, though?
I'm pretty sure somewhere in there they've got to have themselves a jungle. Yep, we go at the other level of push. We go Witch Doctor.
Yep, makes a lot of sense to me. But again,
Universe Tidehunter.
We're down to... If EG play a good early game again, I feel like they're in a better position than last game, actually, where they were in a really good one. I feel like Liquid has an even harder time here, but if Liquid wins the early game, which I think this time they have better lanes than they did last game, just by having the Mirana instead of the Ember, who got really crushed in the lane. If Liquid wins the lanes, Evil Geniuses has a very short time frame in which they can end the game, and if they don't, I don't see them winning it. So we are again going to have Arteezy on the Lycan, so it's probably Well, I get maybe Mason goes mid then.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, where they could switch up the lanes that way.
They could also play a tri-lane puck. That's totally doable. It's actually not the weakest tri-laner, but you want to make sure if you play a tri-lane puck,
Oh, look at him
he needs
head.
to get the experience.
Look at him head again. It's straight down, move down south. It's definitely a tri lane. They just need the early kills, and Liquid have been ready for him. They smoke up. Look how early they smoke too. It's like they're trying to get themselves into like a quicker position, so they fight in this region here, or at least make sure EG never enter. Now the question is, EG smoke as well? Zai's got a smoke up on top of himself. Are they going to loop around? They're looping around. They're going to come in this direction.
This is not a given level 1 fight, though. Both teams have really good level 1.
Oh, in they come. Smoke now being revealed. Demon will see him. Nova's the entire team, but the orb also fly up, and Bulba! He hits the stun again. Universe solo on life with the Riptide. They're going to bring down the Tidehunter. Moving into EG. It's a great start for Team Liquid, but they need to get some extra kills here to ensure they force him out of this lane. With soul assumption damage, Riptide's available. There's your second kill going the way of Liquid, and maybe they've got another. Arrow, baited once, baited twice, throws out next time, connects on Zai. 3 heroes going the way of Team Liquid. The Nova set up the follow-up next time. You asked for Bulba to get himself a 4-man impale. Did you get your wish? Did you get your wish?
I don't think I've seen a 5-man Crystal Nova in a very long time. EG just ran in like a clump there into Demon and Bulba, like you said, and I think the stun hit 3.
The stun hit 3 because I think the puck phase shifted it out.
Yeah.
Is the reason why
they hit a 3-man stun, they hit a 5-man Nova, they hit, I think, 3 with the Riptide as well. Then it's gonna get really hard. Even though EG have Howl and Anchor Smash, I think Universe barely got the Anchor Smash off even. And then it's all great that you have 3 ranged heroes with Howl, but if you start out on the back foot, you can't fight while being outnumbered like that. So they had to run, but it was too late, so they got those 2 additional casualties here, and because of that, Liquid are, obviously, I mean, when you're ahead 3-0, it's an absolutely amazing start. More importantly, I think, why the hell is Zai offlane with Witch Doctor?
They have no other choice here. They have no other choice because EG lost their lane so hard with 3 heroes out. They had no other choice but to pull back. Now, you've got PPD babysitting Mason in the middle lane to make sure Koifa doesn't get CS. This is to stop the early Radiance from coming in because that would just be too much for him right now. But they decide just to abandon the Lycan on the offlane, saying he's not going to get any farm because he had such a horrible start. So put him into the jungle. But this is Arteezy who went Howl level 1. He's doing this with no wolves. This is going to take him some time.
He's losing all his regen as well to this.
Yep, and now he goes up against freaking Alpha Wolves. Man, life is not easy. He's got Golems and Alpha Wolves already. Like, you couldn't ask for a harder start for a Lycan inside the jungle.
Well, at least he gets the Harpies. That's a decent camp here. It's going to cost him quite a bit of life, but he's going to get level 2. Now, this was not the plan for EG. I think they were going to put... yeah, they weren't planning on dying 3 on level 1. But this was not the laning plan, I feel. Because then their item builds are a little bit weird, I think. I think Arteezy was meant to go either safe lane or mid, and then Universe in the offlane, but with the start they had, I think they realized if Tide gets completely locked out of this game, when they're already behind, they need levels on Universe to be able to fight in the early mid game. I think that's the reasoning here. Yeah. The problem is they're getting 0 in the offlane. I think Tide would maybe get something, but Witch Doctor can't get anything at all.
The only thing Witch Doctor can do is try and stack up the Ancients, but then again... Like,
they don't want to do that.
Yeah, because Lycan can't really clean up the Ancients until later into the game. How are you supposed to approach this? The only thing you could probably feel to do is get level 6 on Tidehunter, get into a point where he's tanky enough to do something. Lycan, you just pull enough levels out of the jungle, which Bulb was about to come in and steal a little bit of. Fake it, and he took the troll. But he's okay to do this kind of stuff. He's level 4 on Bulba. With Spy Carapace as well as his stun, he should be okay until they get in front of him. Tell him to just pick up and throw it back. Spy Carapace, they wait it out. Now the stun goes on Universe, and support comes in from way too sexy. The Fade Bolt's still there from PPD. There's enough damage to bring down the Nyx Assassin.
Such a good play from Universe here. Getting in for the Gush, getting the perfect body block, and then allowing PPD to catch up. This is the kind of stuff that EG are going to need to turn this. We're 3 minutes in, but there's no denying when you lose the level 1 fight 3-0, and the offlane Nyx Assassin has a higher amount of levels than minutes passed in the game, you're settling for, or you have to prepare for a really rough mid game. There's no going about it. I don't think EG can just magically get really far ahead in this game, but if they can make these kind of moves that give them a little bit of space, then there is hope. Rubik got level 3 in boots, Tide is level 5, and Puck is of course going to have a pretty decent lane in mid. He's actually winning quite handily against Koikva.
Yeah.
Despite the level 1 advantage.
It was Rubik coming in, man. He bought the extra control. And he also knows too, with Rubik hovering over him with 2 points Fade Bolt, and there's still only 2 points up in the orb, but that's a lot of burst damage that can come the way of Koifa. He doesn't want to burn through his bottle charge with this kind of stuff, or be caught low on bottle charges. And now is Demon in way too? Okay, Demon just steals the haste in the coming bottom lane. That should have been spotted out, but it's already too late. Zai is just so damn slow on this Witch Doctor. Grave Chill, now the Frostbite into the arrow, and that's Zai gone in the bottom lane. Quick execution from Liquid.
He seemed a little bit indecisive about whether he wanted to try to juke in the side or run to his tower, and then in the end he gets caught like halfway between both and doesn't even get the cask off. And there's the cask.
Yeah, he's trying to buy some time for
He needs to be
PBD.
careful. He's fading.
Well, Demon comes in. The telekinesis throwback. He's trying to get him in range of the tower so he can follow up with a Fade Bolt, but there's not enough damage. PBD last attack. He gets it. Actually, Visage kills off the Rubik, and the Crystal Maiden ends up getting killed off by the creep wave that was moving in just then.
Yeah,
Fortification trap at the tower.
He died to the tower shot. I think that was a bad trade for EG. I don't think Zai got the experience of that. And they also lose the tower, so the idea of the rotation from PPD was good there, and I think they could have pulled that off, but they didn't have the mana. And then, at the end of the day, a 1-for-1 trade, losing a tier 1 and not getting experience for the kill you get. Liquid, 3,000 gold at 5 minutes. And this time, you know, in the other games, it's been EG getting a fantastic start and Liquid just turtling it up, split pushing it up, and having better late game. If Liquid keep going at this pace, this game is just theirs. And it's 5 minutes in, but they've had such a great start.
They just got to keep it up, man. Like, if the rotation doesn't keep happening from Liquid, if they don't keep trying to find these openings, they're just going to find themselves with a team fight which they can't win. Because that's still what we have to bring this down to. We're forgetting about Lycan, who's pulled 5 levels out of the jungle so far. And then you're going to have Tidehunter Ravage, Witch Doctor Ultimates with cast bounce arounds, the Lycan Wolves, and then later on, Roshan access for the Lycan. And we cannot forget Mason. Like, Dream Coil, Orb damage, and the possibility of getting a good silence off is going to nerf up Team Liquid heavily. So I'm still not putting this one in the bag for Team Liquid. The start is great, but even now they bring 3 heroes up to the top lane with a DD over on Demon to gank up on Universe, who has Ravage. So if he gets this off, he'll buy himself the space, but he never even has time. The telekinesis from PPD was meant to save him, but he wasn't ready for that level of DPS.
And I was about to say, this is going to be crucial for Tide. I think getting Blink Daggers is EG's ticket to having a chance in this game. Without Blinks, I just feel like the advantage for Liquid and the lineup already is in a really good position, but with Blinks they can get the initiation they need. Because Arteezy is as nerfed as he is by being put in the jungle position instead of the lane, he can't do enough at this stage in the game. So he's going to need the big AoE damage dealers and controllers to set up for him.
They'll have a crack at Way 2 right now. Worth a Dream Call investment. Just got to make sure he triggers on the orb, and there he goes. Jumping on the orb, easy rift. And all that had to be given over was Arteezy's walls, while he was already running back to base.
Top lane. Oh, Demon almost went in for that. I think PPD saw him now. Yeah, he pings him out. There is a Crystal Maiden in our jungle.
What part of the world were you meant to be from with that?
I don't know, you tell me.
All I think about is that guy from the Oaken Post from Frozen.
You keep making references I don't know.
You haven't seen Frozen? Shame on you.
Oh, top lane, PPD.
Vendetta hit! That just hurts. And what's Universe meant to do about this? Like, he comes up and he knows the Demon to a point has already carded him up with an overhit. So he can't run after it. The lack of maneuver... Is it kind of crazy when you go from game number 1 with massive high maneuverable EG to sluggish kind of like slug play? Like, they're just really slow at moving anywhere, apart from Puck. Puck is the nimble slug.
I think Arteezy on Lycan is going to be moving pretty fast too, but It's... Yeah, I don't know exactly what EG's plan is here. I've actually also noticed, I don't know if this is on purpose from Zai, but it seems a little weird. He put a skill into attribute bonus. I think it's a misclick, probably. That does happen sometimes. But when you're already behind, these kind of mistakes cost even more. And it's really unfortunate, because the second point in Voodoo Restoration can be making a really big difference right now, or if he wants Maledict at all. But it could also be on purpose. I mean, that extra 38 health can also make or break. That can make the really big difference here. As I love what EG are doing, because they know they're behind. It's time to make a play.
They've already lost Mason, though. The initiation came from Team Liquid, and now the Wolves come in for Koifa, but Universe has to commit the whole thing. This includes Ravage, which will be used on Koifa. Now the Sentry Wards are down, so they can see, but Koifa gets the ulti off. And now there's 3 Euros locked here. Look at TC. He's winding up, a little bit more distance, throws the arrow in, PPD. Okay, that was way too late. Demon throws down the ulti, and now Universe is really caught him way too deep. And now Universe, well, bouncing some from Zai. He's trying to stay in range for the extra heal. A little bit too far off, though, but it's enough with the Spire Carapace. The damage up the hill keeps missing. And Nyx Assassin will be lost here. Well, it looks like TC was able to finally hunt down and kill off the Rubik. And that was a little bit of a weird fight. I would say Liquid still overall coming out on top, but my big question is, when does Arteezy start having an impact on the game? He's got 2 assists. He's done a good job, to be honest. He got the kill top on Bulba. He sent his Wolves mid to get a kill together with Mason, but we haven't seen his hero yet. And I don't think you need to yet, though. He has Medallion, and probably, yeah, he's going to get the Vlads pretty soon and go for the Roche. I think that's where EG's lineup is going to shine, is if they can make Liquid try to fight for the Roche. Fight into Cask, Ravage, and the Puck, together with a Lycan around that area. Liquid needs to have a really significant gold advantage to win that fight. I don't think they even have enough. That would be the classic play we would expect out of Alliance or Na'Vi, for example. 2 teams that are masterful at playing around the Roche pit, especially when they're dire. I'm hoping for EG that they're doing the same, because that's kind of the big chance of coming back in the game. By being dire in this game with Lycan, they can really make a play off that. And if Liquid fall into the trap, they could lose not only Roshan, but also a fight, and then suddenly we could be looking at a 0 goal difference. You notice too, just then, Liquid attempted the gank over on Lycan. Try to see him up on the top lane, and with the Observe Wall that's already down for the dire side, which is rather aggressive inside their own jungle, they saw TC moving up. So it's just an easy positioning of Wolves, and there was no way that Arrow was ever going to connect. But because they forced him back off the lane, the Tier 1 tower now goes down the top. And I think EG is still going to be happy with trading. Really? I'm seeing Koifa with enough for a relic, man. Oh, that's Blink on Universe as well. But you're right, it's again, this time Koifa gets it even early. He had it 12 minutes last game, this time it's at 11. Yep. This is so problematic. And the Tier 1 tower on the top lane really is going to help him on this front. And now in comes the relic. It looks like we get an extra point boost for Way 2. Again, like, he's another guy that gave him a lot of extra space, Way Too Sexy, during the last game, so they could get the Aghanim Scepter upgrade for him. And the Wolves' nice little hunt out. TC just got himself a 300 gold while sitting back at base. While TC's hoping for the arrow connection, he won't hit Zai. If he did, it'll be a kill, but he doesn't, so he doesn't get it. Yeah, but these items are really arriving. Mason. Okay, they've got this one. Gush to the hit. Well, then again, do they? The cask will fly, and TC quick salve up. He's got Moonlight Shadow available, but doesn't want to trigger it. Assuming, yeah, there's dust on Universe. I didn't want to waste the time. But Demon, whoa. Familiar comes in too. The Ravage will be used by Universe, and now the Wish Doctor ulti from Zai. They turn on Team Liquid. Last Familiar's wrapped up, and Visage, oh, the Telekinesis got him. 3 Euros lost here from Liquid. It looked like it was going to be their fight for a moment, and then it wasn't. Yeah, Koifa wasn't there. They just got outnumbered, basically, and the kill on Mirana as well. I think TC should have actually tried to cast the Moonlight Shadow. Sure, it has a little bit of an animation, but if he survives that initially, that fight goes the other way. If he manages to make EG chase him and not kill him, he can probably turn around and maybe he would have had the mana for an arrow, and that would have been enough, but this is crucial for EG to get some sort of success, not only for the gold it gives, but also to give them the hope that they can come back in the game and get some momentum going. They almost take the Tier 1 tower, they know that Roshan is within their reach whenever they want to, and they also know that they have to do something now, because they've seen the relic on Koifa. It's 300 from a Radiance. They have good illusion killers, so the Radiance is not the end of the world, but it's what it brings with it 10 minutes later that's going to be a problem. I almost want to see Zai just get that Aghanim's upgrade to ensure that no matter what happens, every single Naga illusion goes down. We got movement coming out from way too Demon as well as TC. They're coming into the jungle. Aggressive Observer Wards letting it do it. Mirana ulti will also be used, and this is free gold on Zai. Well, then again, Demon can't reach him for the Nova.
They're gonna lose Roche for this.
Real bad time for that as well. And Naga does still have sleep, and they're moving into the mid.
Oh man, this is gonna be even worse if they try to fight for Roche as well and they get in a bad position. There's no Ravage though, but I still think EG have what it takes to take the fight.
They don't even know. Like, there's no Observer Ward here out by Liquid. The only thing that would make a trigger to say that Roshan's being done is the fact they just went into the EG jungle and never found Arteezy. But now Arteezy finishes Roshan and can pick up the regeneration rune that's sitting in bottom river. Making use out of wolves, and off he goes. A lot of farm on bottom lane. This Lycan's getting fat. He is on his way. He is on his way to finally finishing up his strength threads, and then Necro units are coming shortly after.
He really needs to get fat though. You think Lycan's getting big? Just wait 5 minutes for the Naga and we'll see.
Just 5 minutes, that's all you're going to give it for Naga? Well, now she's got a Radiance up and running, yeah. That was one thing that Coinful was doing really well during the last game. His rate of farm through the jungle was just unbelievable. Like, he was beating around the place, farming up inside the enemy jungle. And look, he puts the illusions in even deeper to make sure he's actually cutting off the extra farm for EG. And now Bulba, the blink was just used by Mason. He'll consider this. I'm hearing arrows flying as well, but his top lane, Mason, he phase shifted out the stun. And now silence on Bulba as well as Koifa. They won't find an opening there. So the arrow managed to connect on just a normal range.
Mid lane way too.
Yeah, there's a Starfall there too, and now Universe jumps in. Ravage is still available, and he'll have to trigger if he wants to get this kill. Combining up there with Zai's ultimate, they guarantee the kill on the Visage. The Starfall still hits. Mason commits more with the Dream Call going on TC, but now he's frostbitten up. Another jump in by Universe with the bouncing stun coming out from Zai into the Urn Charge. Demon will throw the ulti out, but a quick restoration keeps him alive while Bulba able to clean up the fish. But now he's in a little bit more trouble of his own. He's got a mana burn available. He cannot get this Blink Dagger off. He keeps getting stunned up. Now Telekinesis buying time for Rones, and now in comes Arteezy to mop up the pieces and push out and take out the tier 1 tower, while Koifa takes out the tier 2 tower in the top lane. Not involved.
I'm a little shocked with just knowing Koifa as a player, that he doesn't TP in for that is really weird for me. I don't know if he got the TP too late or didn't feel like he had the mana or whatnot, but these fights are pretty even, and if Koifa is there, it makes a big difference. And sure, he gets a tier 2 trade-off here for tier 1, but the fact that they lose the fight, it's kind of odd. This is the game that looks best for Liquid on paper and in the early game, and it seems like it's the one in which they might get the hardest late game. Even though they have an incredibly farmed Naga already, they're still losing a lot around the map because he's not getting involved with his farm. And EG are just not letting them go. They're just finding fights constantly because they know it's the way to approach this game right now.
Well, for now, man, you know that advantage that was there? 3k to 3k, or 3k to 4k, going the way of EG. I thought we had a 5th game, man, or 4th game for tonight. I really thought that. But
I'm still, in my opinion, still Liquid leading, but not by much anymore. I'm
not sure about until Koifa gets his armor item up. Like, once he has survivability, then I will start to agree with you. But in the meantime, I'm watching Arteezy getting bigger. Obviously, he's still taking a little bit more time than I thought he was going to once he had the Medallion and Vlad's up and running. But still, he can win fights up against Koifa with not too much problem with his shapeshift being up and running. And now Bulba, well, no shapeshift, no mana. Ensnare, Riptide, Arteezy, why you make me not believe?
Yeah, nice snipe from Liquid. They know they can't stay for the second kill. They just get the 1 kill and get out. And this is probably a more important kill than it looks, because obviously it doesn't really show anywhere. But the fact that the Aegis is away is going to cripple EG a lot for the confidence in the next fight. If Arteezy has the Aegis, the way he can commit to the fight is obviously completely different. And now there's so many things that can catch him out. And without the Aegis, he's actually pretty vulnerable. So it's great he has 16 armor. That's not going to help you against a Visage Nuke, an Arrow, a Starstorm, and an Impel. Those spells combined pretty much kill him. I know it's a lot of spells, but it's also a really key hero to bring down. And until he has a BKB, I still think he's too fragile to just run into fights freely.
That BKB is so far away, though, because he's going to finish a level 3 Necro book up on this Lycan. And once you get the BKB up and running, you still need the physical DPS to come out from Lycan. You say you remove Lycan, he's such a critical hero. Where's the rest of your physical DPS? You get a lot of control from EG, but you've still got to get through, in the later portion of the game, a rather farmed up Naga Siren, and you're going to have a Mirana who's working your way into a BKB, in fact, almost there. And you're supposed to do all of this with very minimal mana. It's a real rough ask coming in from Arteezy. I know he likes to have heroes that can carry the game out, and that's actually the only type of heroes that he will play, but he's got so much work to do before he can do such a thing.
It's hard, but he has the right combination of heroes to go with the Lycan. That's what I want to come back to again, because in the last game with Lycan, they had a lot of damage, which is great, but they didn't have the control they needed. Lycan in this game can, until Naga gets 3 or 4 items, or maybe 5 even, Lycan can carry this one, because they have so much control to set him up with the cores. I love the pipe pickup on Universe that he just got. This is actually a really early pipe on the Tidehunter.
This is team fight prep, man.
Yeah.
Like look at Witch
right
Doctor. They keep giving Witch Doctor so much space. He's only 2k away from that Aghanim Scepter.
I'm surprised they don't get a mech though. I would have really expected that as a pickup here for EG, but maybe they want the Ags to have more damage. Maybe they don't think it's enough with just Lycan. They need a kind of a.
This is EG forcing early on. This is almost the same situation as we had during our last game, where you look at it going, okay, Liquid is on the clock here. They have to win by a certain point. They know they can't win up against a Naga Siren and Mirana in the later portion of the game, because they're just missing the physical DPS to deal with both heroes. So they must win early team fights, which means take the fights, take the towers, and then try and breach high ground. Everything you've got has to work towards that. That's why it's Necro, not BKB Deso for the Lycan. At least that's the way I look at this. Ooh,
well, it is at least going to be a Necro 3 now, so they will have the true sight for the Nyx Assassin, which might prove useful.
Look at Bolivar, he's just trying to hide.
Speaking of the Nyx Assassin, time to get the hell out of there.
Yeah. Vendetta's up. He's got an Observer Ward, so he's okay for this. But
he actually might get the courier. No, never mind.
His timing was like maybe 5 seconds, 10 seconds off the time when he needed to be there.
But it's like, if you look at the graphs now and just see the development, this is how the game is going to continue if nothing happens.
Zai?
Yeah,
he's getting greedy.
That's really confident right there. He's so dead.
That's all it really is. It's the stun into the arrow, and then Witch Doctor's death. He picked up his Staff of Wizardry before death, however, so I suppose in one way he does save his money. But yeah, that's not what they're looking for. Meanwhile, on bottom lane, also Mason actually went back in. Universe, he's weighing the timeout. Just gushes down the Nyx Assassin. Didn't need to commit the whole Ravage as well, because he's worried about TC just leaping away. Now the Dust will go, and BKB. They have nothing to stop him, even if Mason is going to get 4-staffed in. I like his maneuverability, 4-staff and Blink Dagger on this puck. But it ends up just being a Nyx for a Witch Doctor.
But that's fine for Liquid. The thing is, as I was trying to get at, the way the graphs are looking right now, okay, they dipped a little bit because EG
Demon.
Killed Nyx.
Wonderful.
Worth more.
Wonderful movement by Demon. And way too sexy. You don't have enough life points for that. And then Quover steals the Invis rune.
He's still exposed.
Yep, because the Necro units are up.
Here.
The Necro units are going to run out, though. And actually, they've got 20 seconds. He has to ulti. And he... Wait, no, there's TP... Wait, what?
Okay.
There's Dire Observer and Sentry Wards here, so Arteezy will still see him, and Quover, I don't think he knew that, but Bulba jumps in. Familiars are on their way in, that's the reason why. They won't hold Arteezy here, and then that turn for the fight. Bulba will also almost kill himself on a Necro unit, but he's okay for now. Meanwhile, on bottom lane, Mason solo killing at a tier 2 tower. Welcome to puck bonus hail damage.
Yeah, that's that's a good trade here for EG overall, I have to say, because even though they lose the core, I think map control right now is the most crucial thing. If they can get some more towers, they might get in a position where they can get the next Roshan, and then maybe get moving for tier 3. So Roche is going to spawn right now with 25 seconds on the Lycan. The problem is, like, if they don't win in 10 minutes, the Naga is, again, and I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but it really is what the game is about, and it's what the last game was about as well. It comes down to Kloikva getting so far ahead on farm, and there's nothing EG can do about it. They don't have the heroes to deal with his farm. or with him farming rather. They still have the heroes that can deal with his illusions, but in the late game they don't. And the longer they wait, the harder it gets. It's time for EG to get Roshan and try to push here. They have the Necro 3, they have the Pipe, they have Ravage ready, they have everything they want on Puck. The Witch Doctor almost has the Axe Scepter. They're not going to get a better chance in the whole game than the one they'll have in 2 minutes. And if they miss that one, I don't think they're getting one, even getting a good chance again.
Well, in comes EG. They just got scattered out by these Naga illusions. They also just used their Riptide, but look at the damage being dealt out to Roshan again. We have another set of illusions on the way in, and Naga, with no ulti out, Arteezy will take the Aegis to the Immortal. He does lose at least PPD in this fight, but they're looking to keep the battle going. Have they found him? Volba TP's out to safety. Universe, wait, he could have committed Ravage to that if they really wanted the kill, but you can see the intention of EG. They want to just force out towers and have that Ravage as their team fight protection. Shame for them is they just know there's an observer ward there, but the Necro units ran out, so they can't kill it off. And they're going to back up.
It's the right call. It's the right call here to save the Ravage, I think. Unless, I mean, if they go back to farming, they should have just taken the kill. But
yeah,
I think they want to push when Rubik is up again. Tidehunter has enough mana to go and fight again. The Necro 3 will be available again. Witch Doctor's Axe is now 350 gold off. This was an off-lane Witch Doctor. It's kind of a weird game overall when you think about it. The support was off-laning because Lycan was jungling. So Zai has been getting quite a bit of stuff here, and if they get the right setup, I'm favoring EG in team fights because they are only like 500 gold behind, which is nothing at this point in time. But if they don't get the fight, they will eventually be losing even with even gold. But for now, their massive team fight abilities and the Aegis advantage in the Necro 3 will win them any fight they get into on even grounds. So they just need to find the opening. But Liquid haven't really been giving them too good openings this game so far, I feel.
Once that Mana Star came up, Koiva just keeps pushing out the side lanes, and EG, like, they don't have time to search for openings. Well, they keep getting forced back, and Koiva with Mr. Mana Star 25 minutes in and now 2.5k gold on him, about to become 2.6k. You're going to be dealing with a very tanky Nagasara very early on. And Zai he's 25 gold. He's 25 gold, and now he's got it.
Right,
and instantly back to base.
I'll give you the magic marker, not the pen, but the time, the point in time. If EG don't have a Rax at the 32-minute mark, if they haven't taken Rax, they lose this game. Maybe that's even being generous. Maybe I should say 30.
That's a really short timer, man.
I think they know it. I think they're going for it as well. They have everything they need and everything they can get now. It's only going to get harder the longer they wait now. It's only going to get harder. They have to go for it. And they're actually going to catch Liquid in a kind of good position here because Liquid is pretty far away.
Liquid can't go for this trade, though.
I don't think they can either. I think EG is faster, even though they... Oh, maybe not. How fast is Koiva? I think EG will go on.
It's because they haven't used the Howl. They didn't use the Howl to get through the Tier 2 tower. They wanted to wait for it for the Necro units and then the Howl in. Fortification went down to save the Tier 2 tower. Yeah, this is a lot faster. PPD only just at the last minute dodges the Rax, dodges the arrow, and now, in fact, what do we get stolen? Crystal Nova was stolen, but it's a good oldie by Koiva. His illusions are still doing the work up on the top of the melee racks, but Familiar's coming in, looking for a big stomp. Universe pops the pipe off, but then Crystal Maiden dying almost instantly. Arteezy into the wolf form, and they manage to bring down Koiva. CM buys back. The Familiars are buying some space, but now they're up and resummoned again. They're there to fight up against Arteezy. Solar Assumption damage, stun out in Universe. Zai, he's just throwing the ulti out with the Aghanims, looking for the bonus damage, but really not doing as much as you would have hoped. They've got to bail out. Defend that top where they lost actually the range racks here. The melee racks are still intact, but Universe turning on a Koiva. If they can kill him off again up the buyback, 4-star down. He gets killed by a neutral. Denied off, but at least he's dead for 70 seconds. But the only person up right now for EG is going to be Arteezy.
Yeah, they paid a lot for that, though, Liquid. I still think overall... I know this might sound crazy, but I think that was a better trade for EG, even though they lost their racks and Liquid did.
They've got to get back down the middle lane quickly, though, if they want to get a bet. If they want to keep this as a good trade, like that melee rack is regenerating.
2 minutes, so they can actually use the Aegis with the next Ravage with the tail end of that. Tide.
They're gonna have a Sock Urus the next push too. Just keep this in mind.
Oh, wow. Is he getting that close? Yeah, wow. He got a lot of gold from that.
He's 50 gold away from having his Hyperstone, which is the full AC for Arteezy.
I don't know. I think, you know what? I might have to retract my statement just based on the fact that the items EG... Yeah, because the items EG are getting are actually a lot bigger than I thought. Both Kiras and Shivas are going to be so incredibly good here. It's all about reducing the physical damage. They're reducing the physical damage from the Familiars, from all the Nagas, from the Mirana, with these armor aura. On Lycan. He's got Lads as well as Kiras. That's 10 armor for everyone. And they're getting a Shivas as well, which of course is only armor for Tide, but the effect is indirect health as well because of the attack speed slow. But
1 minute on the clock, man, for the Aegis Immortal.
They're going to go right away.
Yeah, Arteezy's already on the way in, but well, he's got Necro units and Howl available. If he just sends his minions up, they can finish up the melee racks. That should be the primary goal right now. Get that melee racks advantage. Arteezy, he's happy for the Aegis to trigger because they're using a lot of abilities to do this, and he's still alive. He doesn't want to spawn anything else up. He actually creates a new set of walls before death. Now Visage will have to buy back. Mason still with Dream Coil available. So if Liquid do try and fight this one, they could turn Bulba. Oh, if he's stunned to the right, he would have picked up 3, and now Koifa just holds the phone. They find Zai and PPD here. How long to the stun?
Ravage ready in
2 seconds. You're right, Ravage. 6 seconds left on a PPT, though. And Zai, they're trying to live. TC, the BKB is still up and running, though, so the Ravage will not be anywhere near effective enough. So it's just a pullback. It's a pullback and survive. They don't have Aegis the Immortal, but they brought down the melee racks, which is actually a rack's advantage now for EG, because it's range versus melee.
And having momentum in the mid lane for EG is going to be really useful to secure the next Roshan, which we're looking at about 3 minutes, I think. Yeah, no, 2 minutes actually for the Roshan, so...
yeah, potential spawn time. I'm wondering where Arteezy goes from here, man. Because, like, you already talked about AC. Does he try and go in for a BKB on this Lycan?
I think so. I think it's the best choice.
Even though, like, we're 30 minutes into this game right now, and all you're thinking about is just taking down racks and towers, you wouldn't want to try and, like, push your luck here, because you already got, like, large amount of life points coming out from the Necro units and then the protection of the AC. Would you even consider just going straight in for a Deso to try and force out the towers completely? Because then you could solo push with a Lycan.
I think it's too greedy. And the reason the BKB is good is that it counters pretty much everyone else than the Nagasire and Snare. The damage items that TC has got are Mjolnir and Mjolnir. So he...
It's not a double Mjolnir, by the way, people, so just pushing a point.
he cannot do any sort of significant damage to the Lycan and BKB. So sure, TC has a raw damage that's 181, which isn't bad, but you subtract the armor from Arteezy, which is 62% damage reduction. This Mirana is hitting him for 80 damage per hit, less actually, like 60 or 70 per hit onto Arteezy. You can think about how many times he needs to hit then. So it's all up to Naga to kill him, but Naga also doesn't have damage items yet. Koikva has tank ability items and illusion-based items. If Arteezy is in BKB, he doesn't die for the entire duration. I'll almost guarantee it.
Oh, Bulba. You lucky son of a devil. They throw down Sentry Wards, they throw down Necro Books, because the Observer and Sentry saw him move up. And now they're going to see him, but he blinks down into the Observer Ward. He's away. That was a trap that was being set by EG. And Bulba just slips through it.
Roshan? How long? Okay.
Almost a maximum to wait time.
Another 3 minutes. That's unfortunate here for EG, because Roshan is such a big part of what needs to happen here. So I think they're waiting for that, but...
Wait. I actually thought that was a next level denial by Arteezy. And I'm like watching it going, wait, that didn't show up Arteezy as a denial thing. Sorry, just a Necro unit fight. Bottom.
So the really important thing about this Roche being so late is that...
Oh, Arteezy!
There's no follow-up on this.
No, they're too far away. If there was someone just an inch closer, they could have gone on it. And the Naga Illusions... Okay, Arteezy's hanging around here a very, very long time.
So the reason it's important that Roche is so slow is that Koikva gets buyback again. The trade EG got before, when they traded racks, was that they got the rebuy from Koikva and killed him again, and rebuy from Visage. Those two rebuys are absolutely crucial right now, but since Roshan is so slow, they're going to have them again. They're definitely going to have the Naga one. The Visage, questionable. That's in 2 minutes and 20. They might be able to do that with a really... No, he's still going to have it back as well. And he doesn't have the gold, actually, so never mind that. But Koikva's rebuy is absolutely crucial right now. If he does die once and can't buy back, the game is pretty much over. But with Roshan, he at least gets the chance to have the buyback again. It's actually available now because of the slow Roshan timer here.
Well, it looks like Liquid still don't want to take any chances. We know the Roshan timer. They know that at any point Roshan could spawn. And they're going to smoke. They smoke on their side of the river. Now, the Naga Illusion's already showing most of EG out here. But they're going to have to loop themselves around through the bottom. Now, there's one Wolf out here, but with the Radiance Burn happening to the bottom wave, yeah, look at the ping. That came out from the Crystal Maiden, actually.
Do you call the Hex on Puck?
No.
That's a big item.
Actually, didn't even realize he had that. He's still got an extra 1k gold on Mason, too. Oh, Moonlight Shadow's being used. They're going to come down to find Arteezy. Now, there's a sentry ward around the corner, but it's also because they're smoked up. They didn't instantly reveal, and now they see Mason. Arteezy. But they're too far away. They can't jump him.
Look at Arteezy trying to kill these Illus. Like, he's fighting for his life against 2 Illusions here.
So he needs damage dealing. He needs something big.
No, he needs BKB still, I think. It's also his choice, by the looks of it.
Yeah.
He's got the Ogre Club. He's getting close to it. It's either... Halberd isn't good here.
No.
The evasion is nice, but it's not enough. He needs magic immunity.
Yeah. You to actually put a Halberd over a BKB, that's...
No.
That's where you can question decisions right there.
You could go S and Y.
Yes. Well, you want
win with
race car
style, you get
Lycan? Is he not moved fast enough for you, syndereN?
Oh, it's good to have a aim. It slows the enemy, which you don't need, so it's great. Oh, this Roche, though.
Yeah, this is just going to stand for the moment until EG are ready to fight. But in the meantime, Liquid take out the tier 2 tower, and EG they're waiting for Liquid to come in, and Liquid don't want to. They don't need to.
Yeah, let's not forget Liquid can steal this with Song of the Siren fairly easily as long as they have vision. There's...
So they just keep the wave.
They don't even have to.
Oh, they found one. There's a Hex on TC. They got him down very, very quickly. But now Mirana buys straight back into the game. And where's the pressure going to be added? We just leave the Necro units and the Wolves out the other way. And they found Koifa. Koifa throws off the ulti. He was really worried about that side of the bias, but it's still on cooldown for another 17 seconds. The arrow comes in. It only hits on the Naga Illusion. That was the arrow stolen there by the Rubik. And now Dream Call also wafted. They're going to back up Bulba. Only one on the stun, though. He hit the puck, and that's a major one. Face shifted out. The Hex is still going to be there for Mason. No, 1 second. Now the Ravage will pop. Mason's still alive through all of this. Finally goes down up the river, but Zai gets a good ulti up until he gets stunned up. And now TC, well, he just bows it up. He goes all Sparkle, Sparkle, Disco, Disco on the PPD. Triple kill for TC. Fighting in the middle. Universe on the way out, but Koifa will turn around and pick up the gem, get rid of the Wolves, and they'll finish up Roshan. Actually, can they? I don't know if there's not enough damage. Not enough life points on TC.
That's one thing Naga is pretty bad for. It's not a good Roche hero. It's good for stealing Roche, but Naga itself, obviously so much damage is illusion-based, and they just disappear when they try to attack Roche, so... That was still... What was the end result of that? So TC bought back...
You had a buyback on the Mirana and buyback on the Mirana.
Naga. How the hell did they kill Naga?
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
There must have been the Witch Doctor ult as well as the whole combo from Puck and Lycan just mauling away at him. That's huge. That's a win for EG, I think. Because
well, they didn't lose
at the end
Arteezy.
of the day, this game is going to come down to the one big team fight where EG win and there's no buybacks on Liquid. Then the game ends right then. And with the BKB on Arteezy, the Roshan still being available and their ability to bait that, and the Hex initiation from Puck, if they catch Mirana or Naga now, they're going to get Roche and maybe Elena Rax. And it doesn't even matter where on the map they catch them, because since they bought back, their death timer is really long.
Look at the Naga Illusions coming in. They just riptide up most of the creep wave. I don't think that was meant to... Does this game really hit this point now, where we get like an illusion battle? I suppose Naga's the only one that can really fight in that one for Team Liquid, because they don't have Necro units. This Mirana didn't decide to go that. Actually, TC, look what he's building into. Is this going to be Scardy for him right now? Or is it going to be Protection Lincoln Sphere? Because it seems rather late for a Lincoln Sphere.
I think...
Especially considering everything EG's got that could trigger off that Lincoln's.
I think no matter what he gets with his ultimate orb, I disagree with that choice. And it's...
So you say Manta, Scardy, and Lincoln's, you disagree with all three?
I don't think it's the right choice. I think... Oh, well, you know... Again, it's a little rough and it's hard to say because I feel it depends on Koikva. But when you look at Koikva's items on the Naga, He has tank, passive damage over time. He doesn't have DPS. And if Mirana doesn't get any, the question is if they can actually stop EG's push. I'm starting to get worried for Liquid that all the gold they're investing into so defensive items that they can't kill the Lycan anymore. So when he's in the BKB, he can just kill the tower. Like, who's going to stop him at this point? BKB, just go hit the tower. No one stops him. And if they try to fight then, if they commit hard to the Lycan, they get turned on with Ravage, Shivas, everything from Puck, and they just die.
Yep.
I think the problem with this ultimate or build-up from TC is that it's a horribly, in terms of cost, this is one of the, like, you pay so much gold for 10 all attributes, it's a really ineffective item for its cost. It's really ineffective. Oh, did they just help?
Yep. Just give a 5 seconds on Roshan for TC to bring him down to half-life. And this is that combo you were talking about, man. Now, the Howl's already been used, but look how fast they bring it down. Now, there's Aegis and Cheese there. And well, the Aegis was picked up by the Witch Doctor. The cheese is on the ground, and
Clover got the cheese.
Yeah, he took the cheese, but that is all. Now, Universe, he has Blink in 1 second. And is he going to go in? The smoke goes out. We got a Dreamcaller catches Koitfa. He'll have to use the cheese. The arrow comes in and it actually connects, but it's only a short range one. And Koitfa, look at the life points evaporate. And unfortunately for him, Pigs can't use cheese. He goes down now. The ulti as well now from the Witch Doctor. Bulba actually manages to stop him with a Spire Carapace. Oh, that's just not nice. But Arteezy, BKB is there. And they come in, they pick up the gem, and they're also going to pick up Way Too Sexy. Another bouncing cask. And Tide will take out the Visage, but they've got to get back up top. They just lost their melee racks on top. It was a good fight. They lost Roshan, but at the same time, mid racks is still a good trade for EG. And wait, are they forcing this?
They're going to lose the whole base
because they've got no buybacks. Mirana's down, Naga is down. They can't bring their two big ones. They could just go for the GG push here, EG. They could be taking out the MLG TKO with just that one fight.
You're right. I mean, why? Why would they?
Yeah, there's no reason to fall back. Like, Demon's here, 4-staffed out, or at least evade the bouncing stun. But Bulba, now with a malediction on him, they're just trying to slow down EG as much as they can. Arteezy pops off the ultimate form, and now, well, Witch Doctor, he's only just living through this. Crystal Maiden throws down, and maybe, well, Liquid, they're scrambling the defense. Familiars are coming in too, but they're losing them. 20 seconds on the Naga. 20 seconds on the Naga, and he's got Song of the Siren, so he might be able to slow him down this way. And now Bulba back out. Arteezy, he doesn't have Aegis. Bulba, wonderful jump in the stun. Familiar damage is going to be enough, and maybe now EG, they got a little bit too overconfident, but Universe in for the Ravage. And now there's 3 heroes still on the sidelines, but Naga is up. Way too so low on life. Song of the Siren almost had to be used. Mirana is alive, but the tier 4 towers are gone. EG, there's just looking at the side, but Arteezy in the BKB. Nothing can stop him. The arrow's flown astray, so Universe not being touched. Arteezy, he's going to finish the job. They man-mode it down. Nothing will stop the rampage of EG. They lose a 1 game here in the grand final. But they lost nothing in stage 3, and they're looking on fire. And they take home the lion's share of the prize money, courtesy of MLG. $14,000 to Evil Geniuses. And Team Liquid will take home $8,500 USD as well. Congratulations to both.
Yeah, that was a nice finale, because I feel like, you know, in late game, dealing with the Naga can be really difficult, but the whole problem, the essence of the problem here, I feel like, for Liquid was that they didn't reach the stage when they got the real damage items. So Koitfa had absolutely incredible farm in this game. He had the second highest Naga farm ever at 25 minutes, I think, Nahas wrote, with his 261 last hits. At least the last hit value was the highest, second highest only after Miracle. And I feel like this game just showed how much you can actually do with cores only. You know, even without physical damage cores, just the Tide, the Puck. The Witch Doctor Axe did a lot of work here, and even though Lycan had to play a 40-minute game against both a Mirana and a Naga, the fact that they were lacking damage items just meant that even if they get their BKBs off and get the mirror image off and start fighting, the illusions disappear to the massive control that EG have, and they can't kill the heroes fast enough. That was kind of the bottom line. Even with a Visage with Axe, it just wasn't enough, and you know, it's kind of been a weird day, because EG had a game before where they were really far ahead and that they probably maybe should have won that game. Then we have this where they're behind, and where I'm arguably saying, okay, they've got some good mid-game team fight, but the late game is probably less theirs than the last one. And then they win this one. And you just got to say, I think both Mason and Universe really should get a lot of credit for this game, because their team fight coordination and timing was really what kept them in the game here, I think. And Arteezy is going to end up with an 8-2 and 7 score, which of course is going to reflect a lot of the damage he dealt in the fights, but hands down a support slash utility win this game. And that's taking nothing away from Arteezy, but they really kept the game alive here with the utilities.
Yeah, you're right, man. Like, EG, all out. Like, I don't want to change this lineup. Fear, go on holidays for another 2 months. I'm really enjoying watching these 5 guys just play together. You talk about the synergy that Mason has with the team. The whole team is just working beautifully. Absolutely beautifully. You're right about the whole up and downs for who has balance as well. But, yeah, at the end of the day, man, props to EG. They'll take the victory, and we are going to wrap up our US division here. The European division will be happening. The grand final for that one is Fnatic versus Team Empire. That one will be happening over the course sometime in the next 7 days. We're gonna schedule the matchup. Team Empire are at Tech Labs this weekend, hence it's not being played out this weekend. But you'll definitely better follow all that coverage over on joindota.com. And of course, if you do want to see the dates and the grids, results, and all that other jazz, mlg.joindota.com. That is the homepage for this tournament. So for now, we're going to say thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time here on the MLG live stream. It's been fun. Next time, latest peoples.